Hey everyone, welcome to The Explainer. If you're brand new to the whole longevity and healthy aging space, you've probably felt totally overwhelmed by all the complicated advice out there. Well, today we're cutting right through that noise. We're going to look at an incredibly accessible, highly strategic, and literal zero-cost skin protocol designed to tackle cellular aging head-on. We are talking about clearing out cellular stagnation without any of the expensive hype, and you can do the whole thing right from your own home. Okay, let's dive right into this. Here's our quick roadmap for today's explainer. First, we'll cover the biology behind the zombie cell threat. Second, the expensive longevity trap dominating social media. Third, the circulation connection. And finally, your free step-by-step home routine, the thermal flush protocol.
So, starting off with Section 1, the zombie cell threat, hidden inflammers.
To really revitalize our cellular health, we first have to address a hidden biological problem sitting right under our skin. Science calls this cellular senescence, but you've probably heard them called zombie cells. Basically, these are worn-out cells that have just stopped dividing. But here's the critical catch. They refuse to actually clear away. Instead of naturally dying off to make room for fresh, healthy tissue, they just sit there, trapped in a tight cellular grid, kind of like dull, flickering gray shadows. And while they're just hanging out, they emit these constant inflammatory signals. It's like a slow drip that actively accelerates structural breakdown and biological aging.
Moving to Section 2, the expensive longevity trap, viral myths.
If you're a beginner looking into cellular health right now, your social media feeds are probably flooded with some pretty intimidating advice. The wellness industry loves pushing these viral trends, like checking your biological age with super expensive DNA tests, or relying on really complex peptide protocols just to supposedly clear out these older cells. But look at the alternative here, the micro-circulatory reboot. Honestly, absolutely nobody is talking about this right now. It's a targeted, zero-cost physical protocol that uses temperature contrasts right at home. We really don't need complex, highly expensive biological interventions to dismantle these stagnant cellular zones.
Section 3, the circulation connection, stagnant pockets.
Now, what's really interesting about this concept is that it shifts our focus from the biology of the cell itself straight to the literal plumbing of our tissue. Damaged zombie cells don't just pop up randomly. They cluster the fastest right where your microcirculation is dropped off. That lack of flow effectively starves the local tissue of fresh oxygen, trapping those cells in a dull, inactive state. This reveals a massive gap in the longevity space today. So it leads us to the most important question of this explainer. How exactly do we flush out these stagnant, oxygen-starved tissue zones without using all those expensive, complex treatments we just talked about? If the problem is essentially just bad plumbing and a lack of fresh flow, how do we fix it at home?
The answer is actually incredibly simple: targeted physical actions. Let's break down this biological mechanism step by step. Number 1, we intentionally manipulate the local tissue temperature. By doing this, number 2, we create a really powerful, totally natural vascular pump. Think of it literally like opening a valve. Then, number 3, this physical pumping action forces a sudden, rushing wave of brilliant, fiery crimson, oxygenated blood directly into those dormant, stagnant pockets. And finally, number 4, this massive rush of oxygen and nutrients naturally signals your body to trigger cellular cleanup, a process known as autophagy. You're basically bringing in the biological recycling crew to clear away all those worn-out structures.
All right, Section 4, the thermal flush protocol, your home routine.
This is exactly what we've been building towards, translating all that science into a refreshing home routine that takes less than a minute. Here is your accessible, zero-cost blueprint. Step 1. Simply prepare a bowl of comfortably warm water and have a separate chilled linen cloth ready to go on the side. Step 2. Apply a cloth from the warm water as a gentle compress to your skin. Then, Step 3, switch to the chilled cloth to force that flush. But listen, here is the first really common mistake you need to avoid. Do not use scalding hot water. You want a gentle, comfortable warmth. If it's too hot, you risk damaging your delicate skin barrier instead of healing it.
So, let's break down the exact timing. 30 seconds. That is exactly how long you want to apply the comfortably warm compress. No more, no less. During these 30 seconds, your capillaries are slowly widening out, prepping those tight, stagnant tissue zones for new blood flow. Now, a huge mistake beginners make right here is leaving the heat on for several minutes, thinking, oh, more is better. Definitely don't do that. Prolonged heat just causes unnecessary inflammation. Stick to exactly 30 seconds to simply dilate the vessels.
Next comes the contrast, 10 seconds. You immediately switch to the chilled cloth for just 10 quick seconds.
This sudden, sharp temperature drop is the absolute catalyst. It forces a rapid, massive rush of fresh blood right through those newly dilated pathways, sweeping those stagnant, gray zombie cells right out of the matrix. But again, there's a critical mistake to avoid here: applying raw ice directly to the face. Direct ice can cause micro-tears and broken capillaries. Always use a chilled, damp cloth so you get that beautiful, natural, flushed pink undertone completely safely.
So the crucial point is summarized perfectly by this quote straight from our source data. You don't need expensive interventions to clear the pathway. You can trigger local cellular cleanup. You guys, cellular senescence simply doesn't have to dictate your biological age. Restoring a vibrant, healthy cellular environment is literally right in your hands. It just relies on consistency, some basic physics, and understanding your body's natural microcirculation.
It really is that straightforward to intentionally clear out cellular stagnation. So I'll leave you with this question. Are you ready to bypass all that viral hype and actually reboot your skin's microcirculation today? If you're completely new to healthy longevity habits, this thermal flush is the absolute perfect, empowering place to start. Comment "reboot" down below to lock in this blueprint. Until next time, stay curious and keep learning.